ask this question of, my desire and intent are good, but I can't quite get it to work yet. Here's the deal. Yeah, you have a desire, you have an intent, whatever. What you haven't done is planned it in and anchored it into what you're going to be doing. This is pretty straightforward stuff from your basic NLP toolkit. This is the stuff of exactly what is it that you want to practice. You know, I've told you, let me give you an example. All right, so I talked before about that strategy that I used for getting the meta model, Milton model, and all the other language patterns in. And it involved creating file cards, which were card of the day, and having a lever arch file with 1 page per language pattern. And I'd write in there interesting communications that I'd heard people say using the pattern. And then I would write 2 or 3 things as suggestions, you know, just getting the practice in there. And so because at the beginning of the day, I would start my day by choosing the language pattern of the day, whatever that might be. Yeah. So it would cause and effect, or, you know, modal operator possibility. That I would then incorporate into the activities for the rest of the day. In other words, start the day figuring out what the practice is specifically, what I'm specifically working on and listening to. And then the game rule was create an example using that pattern at least once per conversation, communication, whatever I was doing throughout the day. And then while I'm going about my business, listening specifically for that pattern. So the task was the same running across the entire day. If there's a specific thing that you want to practice, then what you have to do is do a little more planning. When you're going into a meeting and you're going to be doing something and you want to practice your state control or whatever, then you make that a part of your plan. And then in terms of the strategy, bringing that down to the next level of specificity, you then have to find the way that works for you in order to get it so that you can connect up with it. Like, for example, anybody remember either the new behavior generator, which basically means imagine it, see yourself there, and then associate into it. So you could imagine yourself doing the skill set or whatever it is. You know, there's that particular person, you're going into that meeting. It's the same meeting that you always have every morning on Monday. It's exactly the same. Nothing ever changes in it. So you want to use it as an opportunity for some kind of progress, at least. So you put in there you asking a different question. You can run it through in your mind and you see yourself there. Yeah. Asking the question differently and listening and responding in a different way. And remembering whatever that state is that you want, you on your best day. You know, there's a fizzy B vitamin drink called Baraka. Comes in a tube, and it's like a little fizzy tablet that you drop in water, and their advertising line was you, but on a good day. Yeah? So whatever your fizzy Baraka state is, yeah? You see yourself there in that fizzy Baraka state, doing whatever it is that you need to do in order to engender it, and then also to keep it going. You see that, you associate into it and experience what that will be like, and then you do anything else that you need to do in order to remember, including putting a gigantic Post-it note on the front of your notes with the word remember written across it in gigantic marker. Sorry. Whatever it is you need in order to remember. Yeah, that big Post-it note is an anchor. If that kind of thing works for you, then great. If there's somebody who's going to be in that meeting who's difficult, or who's always difficult, or who from, you know, when you're looking at them in a completely objective and godlike way, you know they're an arsehole. Yeah? How about making them into an anchor for all the cool stuff that you want to do? But the trick is that you have to specify it. You have to get it down to exactly what you want to practice. And then you run through in your imagination, seeing them there, and they have that look on their face. And when they have that look on their face, you take a deep breath in, you adjust your posture, you access whatever the state is, and blah, 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 blah. Good old-fashioned NLP. But what it takes to move from the desire and intention to do it is the plan and the strategy. So you got the first bit, which is the desire to do it. The next step is to create the strategy to make it work, and keep it simple, keep it straightforward. You have to create something that your brain can get hold of and experience and go, oh yes, that is an experience. Then you have to get it so that's an experience I'd like to have. And therefore, when this happens, then run it through and make that connection. You know, you could create a little schedule of practice for stuff. You have to get, though, from the generalized idea and desire down into what is the sequence? What are the specifics of what you're doing? There's so much that you can do. Every single moment. Every moment is the moment of choice, is the moment of change, is the moment of practice. But you have to not just want to do it, but figure out how. Yeah? It's not the answers. It's staying in the better questions. You're going to get the biggest payback, biggest response.